CBC's Albert Delitala is following the story for us and joins us now with these details as they come in. Albert, take us through the verdict.
Well, Asha, not guilty on all charges. That's the verdict in this case, meaning the Crown did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Umar Zamir intended to kill the police officer. It follows a 5-week trial and 4 days of jury deliberation. The judge actually apologized to Umar Zamir for everything he's been through over the past 3 years or so. He was also found not guilty of manslaughter caused by dangerous driving. Japan's transport minister is confirming that 5 people aboard that Coast Guard plane have been found dead. The pilot, though, did get out safely, and all 379 occupants on the passenger plane were able to get out safely. We have some new video to show you actually from inside that Japan Airlines plane. You can see smoke filling the cabin there after it collided with the Coast Guard plane on the tarmac. One passenger told a Swedish newspaper the entire cabin had filled with smoke within a few minutes.
Bring in the CBC's Albert Delitala now. Albert, what did you take away from that news conference?
Well, Stephanie, we heard from the police chief, Darcy Fleury, there speaking about what he called the erosion of trust, the challenging time that the police service is facing there in that community. He also talked about the team, how his team is committed to fulfilling their duties, to continuing to authentically engage with the community. And that's that's amid this ongoing investigation of the police service, and also following the developments on Friday when we learned that the former police chief, Sylvie Hoth of the Thunder Bay Police, she was charged amid that ongoing investigation.
Albert Delitala here with us in studio with more on what happened and what Air Canada is now saying.
Yeah, Heather, Air Canada says it did violate disability regulations here, but the couple at the center of this, they say they do want to see Air Canada take action to ensure it doesn't happen again.
This pause, Albert, what led up to that?
Good morning, Jacqueline. Yeah, that pause, it follows about an 8-hour effort yesterday, really a harrowing effort to rescue that young orca, but ultimately it was able to evade those capture efforts. The 2-year-old female, a transient killer whale, it's been stuck in that tidal lagoon off the western coast of Vancouver Island there for a while now, since March 23rd.
Albert, a massive tremor, dozens of aftershocks. Talk to us about what happened this morning when that first major earthquake hit.
Yeah, Abby, well, I was actually shaken awake just at this hotel here. I'm just, it was around 8 in the morning, and that's when I first heard the room start to rumble, and I didn't initially even realize what it was. Once I did kind of realize that it was an earthquake, I ran to the bathroom, went under a counter there, as I understand you should do in these cases to kind of stay safe. It went on for probably 60 to 90 seconds. Just kind of I felt the building swaying and creaking, and once it stopped, I came out. I looked around my room. There were some cracks in the drywall, some plaster on the floor. At that point, it started shaking again, so I ran back to the bathroom under the counter, waited for another 90 seconds or so. Once that stopped, I thought, okay, I better get outside. So I headed to the hallway. I saw more cracks in the drywall, more plaster on the ground. Some of the fixtures had come off the ceiling. So I made my way downstairs at this point, and then I heard from a friend who was just living a bit down the street behind me, and he said that a building had actually caught fire right after the earthquake happened. So I kind of walked down, witnessed that as the firefighters were tending to those flames. So really quite a scene here. Meanwhile, just on the outskirts of Taipei, a friend of mine was actually just at his place over there. He lives about 22 stories up. He felt it much more just because he's higher up, right? So his condo and his family's condo was shaking, and they had a lot of glasses fell off the shelves there. The chandelier was swinging around. So, I mean, minor damage, but much more damage than I experienced here. But really, with these multiple quakes, I mean, the scary part is that, I mean, I didn't know how, if the next one might be bigger, right? I mean, it's just a big question mark. Like you don't know how big the next quake would be. But just to be clear, I am in Taipei, in Hualien, which is about 4 hours southeast of here. It's of course much worse there.
Albert, you talked about not knowing if there was going to be more. Officials say, there were more than 75 aftershocks in about 5 hours after that initial 7.4 magnitude quake. It's been more than 12 hours now. Talk to us about what the situation on the ground where you are is like at this moment.
Yeah, so in Taipei, in the capital here, life is more or less returned to normal. And I'll just reverse my camera and show you. You can see people have pretty much just they're having dinner. They've just returned to their lives. And in fact, this was the case really moments after the earthquakes this morning. And if you look at it further down the street, you can see that where that fire was this morning, no sign of that either. So I mean, in Taipei right now, things have really returned to normal, at least from what I've seen. But they are saying that more earthquakes, maybe magnitude 7 or so, could happen throughout the next week or so, or until the end of this week. So I mean, there's still a lot of uncertainty here for the next few days.
Thanks for this, Albert. The CBC's Albert Delitala reporting from Taipei.